Hi all, Reed here from ReedVerity.com, your official Subsplash consultant. So today I want to go over exactly what are media items and what is media in Subsplash. So let's jump on into it. All right, so here I've already navigated over into my app, mobile app. All right, I like to call this the dining room table. All right, this is where we like to build things dining room table side because then we're going to be sure that it shows up for people to have. As opposed to over here on the left-hand side, this is our pantry of things. Things that are in there aren't always going to automatically show up on your app. So if you want to make sure that it shows up in the app, make sure that you're building in the app area. So let's head on over to my media tab. All right. And we can jump on into Subsplash training videos. This is a list. Remember, lists are like folders. Well, when we click on Add Item, we can click on Media Series. You see here, I've got SnapPages 101, Subsplash 101, tips and tricks, even some parodies that I've done. So what we can do with this is we can add a media series. Think of a media series as the TV show, all right? So let's create a new one. Let's say that you're adding in a new sermon series, all right? And we can create this. Add one item. You can see the sermon series has now jumped on into this list. And if we take a look also, back at your media library now, what we're going to see is that we have now created this sermon series. The pantry now has a record of that. All right. So I didn't hit save before, and this is a really great time to point this out. You want to make sure that you're always hitting save. But we did create that sermon series, so it is still being held in the back end that you can come in and recall, which is great if you need to recall it in another place later on. So let's click on Add One Item. So now we hit save. So the sermon series is the TV show. But inside the sermon series, we can create media items. All right? And we can put in sermon series episode 1, 2, and 3. All right? So let's move on back real quick and let's take a look at Subsplash 101. See, I have episodes 1 and 2 in here. So a media item is the episode and the media series is the TV show. All right? We can only have media series in media, or we can only have media items in media series, and media series can only hold media items. And media items can only belong to one media series at a time. All right, but here's where things get tricky. All right, or kind of interesting. You see this list that I'm in right now called Subsplash training videos. Let's say that I made one video that just doesn't have a series yet. Well, I could click on Add Item in this list, and I could select media item, and look, all of the episodes that I have created are in here, and I can choose from them. I can say I want these, click Add 3 items, and now they are there. In order to remove them, it doesn't delete them from the pantry. It just removes them from the dining room table. All right, so now let's go into a media item. All right, a media item has some really great things. We've got a title, we've got a subtitle and a date, a description, speaker. As you start adding more speakers, these things are going to become searchable in your library. Same thing with scripture and topics. Now, video. Oftentimes, when we have a new video that we want to create, we have the option. We can click on video and enter a URL. Unfortunately, this will not accept a YouTube URL because YouTube doesn't want you to take its content from the website and be able to watch it on something else native. They want you to watch it on YouTube because that's how they have ad revenue. All right. What they want here is something that ends in .mp4. So if you're on Vimeo, if you were on your server, if you've got a link to a URL that ends in .mp4, .m4v, .mov, and so on, you could paste that here and Subsplash will download it for you. When it does that, it is going to take out the audio feed for you so that it has just the audio separate, which will later be able to be used for your podcast if that's something you want to do. Document, we can now assign a document. Maybe you have a coloring sheet for the kids, or maybe you had like a follow-along PDF. You can give it a title and upload that PDF. In the same way, we can give a title to a web link. So maybe you're using your fill-in notes. You call this fill-in notes, and then you can post in URL to that, or maybe it's a Spotify playlist, or maybe it's a Google form, right? All of these things will now be attributed to this item. And that's how media series and media items work. I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, please reach out at reedverity.com.